Statement.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate everybody being here. I think we're excited about heading into year 4 for us in the Big 12. We've improved our record each and every year. Excited about this year, I think, for many reasons. I think, first of all, with the players that we have coming back, starting with our offensive line, man, we got one of the best offensive lines in the country. If you got to have a good position group, certainly want to start with those guys. Excited about what they're going to be able to bring to our table. Last year, we were one of the top offensive lines, and a lot of those guys are back. So not only great players, but they're great leaders on our team and head that locker room up. And then I think probably the next thing, just really excited about, Coach Woody is coming in to be our defensive coordinator. So that's going to be a change defensively. Over the last couple of years, Coach Woody and I were together at Appalachian State for 5 seasons. Did an outstanding job there and has had a great run at Army the last 6 years. So excited about what he'll be able to bring to our defense. And then I think in the special team aspect, we have all 3 of our specialists back with our punter, our kicker, and our long snapper. And those guys are some of the best in the country as well. So, really amped about this year, coming into year 4 in a great conference with a great opportunity. So excited about this and ready to get going.
Again, if you have a question, please keep your hand raised until we can get someone to you. We'll go to center right, second row.
Coach, Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. J.C. French IV, bringing him through the portal from Georgia Southern. We know that a team goes as the quarterback goes, so what can you say about his leadership, his effort on the field, what you saw that was worth bringing in to Cincinnati?
Yeah, I think we all know it, no matter what level or what league you're in, whether it be rec league, high school, college, or pro, you better have a good quarterback. And certainly went in the portal and then trying to find a guy that fit what we want to do. And, JC was one of the guys that was out there. He's a couple of things that we like about JC. He ended up being the all-time leading passer in Georgia Southern school history. He's a guy who's got a lot of great experience. In Coach Helton's offense down at Georgia Southern, lit it up at times, did a great job with throwing the football. But then you start digging deeper and getting and calling and talking to people and finding out about his character, his leadership, how he handles himself off the field, and that was critical as well. And but you don't truly know until you get him on campus. And when we got JC on campus, very humble but very confident in his ability. I thought we had an outstanding spring. He came in. We split a lot of time at quarterback position this spring, and he kind of rose to the top. He throws an excellent ball. He's very catchable ball, tight spiral, can make the throws down the field as well, and also can move around a little bit. I think for us in our offense, we've always had a quarterback that can move around a little bit, and he's able to do that as well. So I'm excited about what he'll be able to do for our team this year. I think he's already taken the leadership role of the quarterback position. He's won the locker room, and that's the reason why we brought him here. I think we're excited about what JC will be able to bring to our team.
We'll go center left in the back.
Bailey Sheffield with KillerFrogs.com. Hey, Coach, you said this is year 4 for you guys. What's the biggest strides that you're making in the Big 12, as well as your challenges?
Yeah, I think year 4 we've gotten better each and every year in this league. Obviously, when you're making a move up, from the group of 5 at that point to the Power League, there's going to be some challenges, and I think we certainly have learned a lot over the first 3 seasons. Last year we talked about we just got into a new facility at Cincinnati. It's an incredible facility where we house our football team, a new indoor facility, new weight room, training room, many apparatuses that can help in recovery, aid in recovery. That certainly will help. This is our, I guess the anniversary, kind of like right now, 1-year anniversary, getting in the new building. And then also learning the lay of the land and the teams that we have to play in this league. It's some great league, it's some great coaches, great players, very competitive. We're having to travel a lot of places throughout the country and playing in some great venues. And, in this league, we all know you have to bring it your A game if you want a chance to win. And, but like everybody else, we're trying to put out a great team of individuals that come together and play as a team. And I think that's been our charge this whole off season. Is to become really connected, to become tight as a unit. And that's what we've been able to do, and it's exciting to see these guys work this summer.
Center left, second row.
Michaela Booker, D210 Sports. Coach, so much of the conversation today is about wins, championships, and this upcoming season, but your impact on these players lasts much longer than their football careers. How do you define success for your players when football is no longer part of their lives?
Yeah, I think in our program we do talk a lot about life and, what kind of father, what kind of husband you're going to be when you leave. Football, you're going to put the cleats up one day, and then, what kind of impact are you going to be able to make out in society. But I do think the things that we learn within football, the discipline, the accountability, the camaraderie, the teamwork that you have to have, the unselfishness that you have to have. All these traits that I think you learn as a football player will help you in life. And we got a bunch of great individuals in our building that learn from each other, learn from the older guys, and continue to move forward. So there's so many things that we can learn from the game of football that we try to teach our guys.
Center right, third row.
Scott Springer, Cincinnati Enquirer. Are you able to say anything about the letter of inquiry today on Brendan Sorsby? And has this provided a blueprint for Big 12 schools in general to educate their student athletes?
No, can't really make any comments about that inquiry.
We'll go center left, first row.
Coach Neil Meyer, the front office news. You mentioned the coaching changes. When you look at that coaching change, bringing in Nate Woody with the transfer additions on the defensive side of the ball, do you feel this defense is best equipped to have success in the Big 12 in year 4?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we needed to get better at defensively. For the last couple of years, we were, mainly a drop 8 defense. And in this league, with so many great quarterbacks, these quarterbacks, man, they pick you apart. I feel like you got to be able to mix it up and change some things to cause a little bit of havoc for the offense. So with Coach Woody, again, having been with him already for 5 years, and we got a good working relationship and understanding what he's trying to get done, you also have to look at your personnel. All right, what can they do, and what positions do we need to put them into for them to have success? And Antoine Peak's a great example of that, who's a guy who's played in the secondary. Now we're moving him closer to the ball. He's going to be playing that Sam position to be able to have more impact in causing havoc for the offense. And hopefully we'll be able to create more pressure. I think, again, if you can get the offense off their routine, mixing it up by bringing different pressures, boundary field, and being a lot more aggressive, I think is what we need to be able to do. And with our talent that we have at linebacker position, with some of the guys we brought in and some of the guys that are back, like Jonathan Thompson, Simeon, we got some great linebackers that can really put pressure on offenses, and then we got to be able to utilize those guys. And I think in this defense, we're going to be able to do that, and obviously be able to mix in some coverages with that as well. So that's kind of what we've been doing this whole spring, and as we approach the summer, is finding different ways to be able to do that.
Center right, third row.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
James Teckley, White Right Son. Going back on to Coach Woody, last year, Shieldwood was Texas Tech. He obviously spent time with Coach Woody. Was seeing Coach Wood's success at Texas Tech, knowing that Coach Woody is one of the innovators in the East Coast 3-4, did that, along with your previous experience, kind of make it a no-brainer to bring him into the Big 12, and because you already have proof of concept?
Yeah, that's a good question and a good point. No, Coach Wood, Shield's done a great job at Tech with their defense last year, but even before that, everywhere he's been, and him and Coach Woody were together at Wofford for years. And there's other guys that are coaching throughout college football that come off that same Coach Woody tree. And Coach Woody's been calling defense for a long time now, and it has great success. He did an outstanding job at Army the last several years. He's a smart coach, and he has experience. And I think anytime you have experience calling defenses, how to stop these offenses now. These offenses are so good nowadays, but they're so innovative, what they're doing with their players, how they can match up run game scheme with their passing game scheme. And you have to have a multiple defense. You just can't sit in the same defense and think you're going to have great success. And so, certainly what Coach Wood did at Tech They had some outstanding players there as well last year, and a lot of those guys are back this year too. So, but Coach Woody can bring some of that to her and help our defense and certainly give us a better opportunity to win these games.
Center left, sixth row.
Jordan Edmondson, Sickos Committee. This year will be the 129th meeting between Cincinnati and Miami. You missed a year last year, but how is it important to you that they keep these kinds of games going, these important non-conference that have so much history?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's incredible the amount of times in history that the Miami and Cincinnati have had over the years, not 45 minutes apart from each other. You know, it's an incredible rivalry, one that our players love playing in, and our fans, I think, love it as well. As we know how college football has changed over time and years, and guys going in different conferences, and somehow we've been able to sustain the rivalry over all those years. So it'll be interesting to see how it happens, you know, what happens in the future with it. I certainly believe that in college football, you want to have rivalries. You want to be able to play some of the teams that you've been playing for years, and regional rivalries, I think, are important for the fan bases for sure. You know, and so this year we're playing in our soccer stadium in Cincinnati, which will be a very unique venue. It'll be an intimate, loud, great environment. I think that we'll all see that, notice that this year when we play that game. And, you know, so hopefully we'll be able to continue this rivalry throughout the future. And, you know, obviously, the higher-ups need to look at it and figure it out. You know, but I think as coaches and players, we love playing in games like that because, you know, everybody's up for it, and it's, you know, it's going to bring out the best in both teams.
Time for one final question. We'll go center right, second row.
All right. Coach Lynn Harrington with State Live Power 5. How you doing today?
Hey, good.
That's good. So last season, you opened up the year facing Nebraska at, you know, Arrowhead Stadium. This season, you open up against Boston College, you know, a powerful team out the ACCC. So how are you preparing your teams mentally and physically to, you know, no cream puff off the top? You about to go to battle in week one.
Yeah, you know, I think we revert a little bit back to what happened last year. You know, we played a Nebraska team, an outstanding, and Arrowhead Stadium, probably one of the louder stadiums I've been in. It was packed, a great environment, came down right to the last play. No different this year. I think anytime you start your first game against a team like Boston College, a team that's going to have a lot of great players, good coaching staff, and our first games, there's a lot of unknowns too. Like, you know, what are they going to be trying to do with their new players, any new coaches that they may have. So there's a lot of little cat and mouse going on at the beginning of the game, I think, you know, offensively and defensively, and trying to figure each other out. I think the big thing for us is to know that we have to be our best in the first game. And so that's why this summer and August camp's got to be intense. And you got to be ready to go that first week. You certainly want to get out to a great game. And, you know, unlike last year when we didn't win the first game, you know, you want to come out and get that first win right off the bat. And I think for us, fortunately, it's in Nippert Stadium. You know, we'll have a great crowd. We'll, you know, certainly have a home field advantage. We got to take advantage of that. Thank you.
Coach, thank you for your time today, and good luck this season.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate it.